Pokemon Day is coming up really fast, and with it, there will be a Pokemon Presents. Today, we're going to be talking about everything that we know we're going to see and everything that we're very likely to see, at least in my opinion, in this next Pokemon Presents. Welcome back to the Lumiose Post, everyone, where we talk about all things Pokemon, and today we're talking about Pokemon Day. So it goes without saying that Pokemon Day is going to have a Presents, and this Presents will have several different updates for all the various Pokemon media going around right now. Some of which we actually know about, and some of which, we can speculate about. We can kind of guess what's coming. So first off, what do we know? Well, we know that Suicune is a Pokemon that is about to be released for Unite. We can find this in the Pokemon Unite data mine. Every single year for Unite, they have on the Pokemon Day Presents announced a legendary coming into the game. So given that we're seeing that there's a legendary coming for Unite, it's very likely that Suicune will be the one announced. We also know that Pokemon Go is set to announce some stuff about their Unova tour. Personally, I don't think that'll be all there is for Pokemon Go. I think that there will be a tease to something else. I've previously speculated on my podcast, the Hidden Power Podcast, which you should check out, by the way, because we've done our own kind of predictions where we've kind of chatted about the different things we could see, and more of a discussion format rather than something like this, as well as a call-in show with many of our viewers, and they've kind of given us their thoughts on what we could see. But yeah, I do think that we will see something with Go. I previously predicted that it could be perhaps Paradox Pokemon. I don't think they'll be dropped into Go on Pokemon Day, but I could see them kind of throwing in a little teaser for Paradox Pokemon coming, similar to how back when the Ultra Beasts came, before they were actually added into Go kind of was teasing them bit by bit with little videos and stuff. I'm expecting a similar thing for Paradox Pokemon at some point, and I do think it'll be right now. This is kind of an overall theme that you'll see me predict throughout this Presents, but I do think that this is going to be a very Scarlet and Violet celebratory Presents, purely because I think we'll be getting big ZA information, and more on that in the video. But I think we'll be getting more ZA information in this Presents. We don't have much ZA information right now, and the significance of that is that we will be able to kind of say goodbye to Scarlet and Violet. While it's still the main game for competitive and all, it's not going to be the thing that all the merch and the Pokemon Twitters, their socials are going to be pushing. They're going to be pushing ZA now. So I think these spin-off games will kind of be taking in Scarlet and Violet stuff. You're already seeing this with Pokemon Go announcing a Fuecoco Community Day. I think that, it makes sense to bring in Paradox Pokemon into there, and then jumping into our next thing, Pokemon Cafe Remix, I personally think they'll add Terapagos and or Ogerpon into Pokemon Cafe Remix. I don't personally play that, but if you do, let me know. I've actually never played it. Is it like Candy Crush? It looks like it's like Candy Crush, but I don't know. Haven't played it. Maybe I should pick it up. Should I pick it up? Let me know in the comments. Other spin-off games we have are Pokemon Masters EX. This is going to get an update. I can only speculate on what that would be. Again, a Scarlet and Violet character makes a lot of sense to me. Perhaps, I don't know if they've been added into the game because this is another one I haven't played, but perhaps Carmine will be added into the game with her Sinistcha, and perhaps Kieran with his Hydrapple. I don't know. Only speculating. Again, I think this will be pretty celebratory for Scarlet and Violet. Pokemon Sleep is another spin-off game that I imagine will get something here. Maybe Koraidon is added into the game. That's something that I put on my personal bingo board, but we'll see. Then we have the TCG. So the TCG, I do think, will get an announcement within the Presents. And I'm not talking about Pocket, but the actual physical cards. There's been this rumored, or perhaps even leaked. I don't fully understand because I'm not a big TCG guy either. But apparently there is like a Team Rocket themed set that was leaked last year, and so this, I imagine, will be a pretty hype time to announce that. Then also with TCG Pocket, I imagine that we will get something with this as well. I'm personally predicting that it'll be an Arceus themed set to kind of coincide with the latest expansion for Pokemon Pocket, which is Space Time Smackdown. So, if you look before, you had Genetic Apex, this kind of Kanto themed set, and then it got an additional smaller set with mythical island, and that was focused around Mew. I'm imagining the same thing's going to happen here. We'll get our space-time Smackdown. We already have that. And then we'll get like an Arceus-themed one that's smaller in scope, but still does add a few new fun cards into the game. I could also see Pocket announcing some stuff with the trading, like perhaps a new way to get the trading hourglasses or whatever it is you need to trade, just because there has been a lot of negative reception to the trading function in Pokemon TCG Pocket. So I imagine that there could be an announcement for like, hey, look, there's this, stop yelling at us, you know? Pokemon Worlds. Pokemon Worlds is a thing. You know, that's something that's going to be this year in Anaheim, California, in August. Now, sometimes they do an announcement about Worlds, like they'll announce some events or stuff that's going to be there in the presents. I could very well see this being the case. Then also the anime. Interestingly enough, the Horizons anime has a calendar that they release monthly, and this goes out to my friend Soul Silver Art, who also is on the Himpal podcast, so definitely check that out, because he was the one who told me about this. But the anime has a calendar that they release every month, and they always star when the episodes are dropping, which is typically on Fridays. However, they have the Pokemon Day, the February 27th, it is starred as well, despite that being a Thursday. Now, the interesting thing about that is that they've never done this before. Normally, in their calendars, Pokemon Day is not starred. So perhaps the star is an indication that we could get some kind of Horizons announcement in the little presents here. Maybe we will, and especially if it does tie into ZA stuff. Zygarde is a Pokemon that's being pretty heavily featured in the Pokemon Horizons anime, so I could see some kind of Zygarde announcement for ZA as well as Horizons, like kind of do them side by side. Now, before we get into the big thing we all care about, that's our mainline games, I do want to kind of visit some old mainline games. So look, I am a big believer that Pokemon ports will happen. They've already done it before with the 3DS. They did Virtual Console. You could, on the eShop, download Pokemon Yellow, Red, Green, or Blue, depending on where you are in the world, and also Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. I do firmly believe that at some point, these games, as well as the Game Boy Advance games, which would be Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, and Leaf Green, will be coming to the Nintendo Switch or the Nintendo Switch 2 with compatibility to Pokemon Home, and perhaps even backwards compatibility. So if I catch a Sceptile in Scarlet and Violet, I can send it into Pokemon Emerald, right? As long as it's compatible with that game. Similar to how they have it right now with like Sword and Shield, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Legends Arceus, and Scarlet and Violet. I think this would continue for the console games. Now, next year's the 30th anniversary, so I've always kind of felt like they have to shelf that for then. But maybe that's not the case. Maybe they actually do go ahead and start releasing some this year, and then that allows them next year to announce DS ones. Or even they announce the Game Boy ones this year, Gen 1 and 2, and then next year they announce Gen 3. I don't know how they'd exactly do it, but I do think there's a chance they do it this year, purely because if you look in Pokemon Home, they have been doing these events for different games. So like you have Pokemon Sword and Shield. If you catch all the Pokemon natively in Sword and Shield and put them in Home, you will get a shiny Keldeo. And if you do it for Legends Arceus, you get a shiny Enamorus. You do it for Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, shiny Manaphy. Scarlet and Violet, shiny Meloetta. And for Let's Go, it's a shiny Meltan. And the interesting thing about that is that's actually a really lame pick, because whereas these other mythicals are either not currently available shiny or have never been available shiny, Meltan is something that you can get shiny through Pokemon Go pretty often. I don't know if you always can, but they've done a good bit of events for it. And also, too, Meltan can only be evolved into Go. So if you get a Meltan in Home, you don't have a way to send it to Pokemon Go. So I can't evolve this Meltan. So it's kind of a dumb shiny, if I'm honest. And it especially seems weird because Mew's right there, right? Like, why not give us a shiny Mew? And so the thought process here and how it ties into ports is that perhaps they do announce, these virtual console games, and then from there, you would have these events in there. If you complete the Kanto Dex in Red, Blue, Yellow, you get a shiny Mew in Home. You do it for Gold, Silver, Crystal, shiny Celebi. For Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, shiny Jirachi or shiny Deoxys. You do it for Fire Red, Leaf Green, maybe, I don't know, a shiny... You could do the other one. So, like, you do Jirachi for Emerald and Deoxys for Fire Red and Leaf Green, or vice versa. You see what I mean? It almost looks like them doing Meltan kind of feels to me like they're setting the stage for something else. But again, they could be setting that stage for next year and not this year. But I digress. That would be pretty cool. Now for the stuff you care about, Legends ZA. So Legends ZA is, come on guys, it's gonna get an announcement. It's gonna get a trailer this year. We haven't had a trailer since the last Pokemon Day. It will have been a year. They're totally gonna update it with us. I think that, for one, the thing that everyone cares about, which is the starters, will get revealed in this trailer. I do think that will happen. And I don't think it'll be the Kalos stars. I think it'll be a mixed batch, like in the last Legends game, Legends Arceus. Now, you know, I think that they'll show these off. I think then the kind of community question will be like, oh, will these get regional forms or will they just get megas? I think that'll be a fun thing that the community can debate on going forward. But I do think that we'll get those revealed. Another thing that I think is really important to a lot of people is the time period. If there's a trailer for Legends EA that has gameplay footage or even just gives us the box art, you know, really, if we just get a little bit more, we'll be able to figure out the time period, right? And I imagine that will be the case. So we'll finally know if this is in the past or the future. And I want to clarify that when I say future, I just mean post X and Y. I don't mean like the future, like Tomorrowland type stuff. I don't mean that. But anywho, then I do think that we will get the release date for this game. Personally, my bet is late summer of this year. I don't think it'll drop in the fall. Maybe it will, but I don't think it will. I feel like they wouldn't have announced it that far out. But maybe I'm high on copium, you let me know. But I do hope it drops like July, August-ish. But either way, we'll find out, I think, on Pokemon Day. If nothing else, if they don't give us the release date, I think they'll give us the release window, right? So instead of keeping it at 2025, they'll say summer 2025 or holiday 2025. And if it's holiday, well then, yeah, we know it's a November release. And I do think it's quite possible we see something else for ZA. I'm sure we'll see a lot of interesting things like characters or of course, gameplay, like, you know, kind of what's carrying over from Legends Arceus. If there's a new battle style, perhaps we'll see it here, like Legends Arceus had the agile and strong style. If that carries over, if there's something new, anything like that, I'm sure we'll get a glimpse at actual Mega Evolutions, like Mega Lucario and stuff. That's kind of the poster child for them, I think. But then I also do think it's possible we see a new Mega revealed, you know? Especially if something like Xerneas, Yveltal, or Zygarde gets a Mega Evolution, I could see that being revealed. If there's any kind of new Pokemon, like this A Pokemon, I could see it being revealed or even teased. There is kind of this fun little theory, I don't put too much stock into it, but of a flying evolution appearing in this game and being revealed on Pokemon Day. I don't think there's a lot of stock in that, but it is kind of interesting, and I think no fans would complain if there was a flying Eevee in this game. So maybe, hopefully, that'd be cool. But yeah, let me know what you think. This is also the year of Eevee, is what the Pokemon Company's calling it. But then I say that, and the thing is, it's only like the Western Pokemon Company. Japan's not really doing that, and that's kind of where you have to look for these things if you're looking for hints. I would say the new Pokemon, though, would be most likely something special. Like, I don't think they're just going to reveal, like, a random new bug. It'd be, like, a legendary, or I feel like Eevee special enough that an evolution for it would be considered as such. I don't think we'll get any regional forms revealed in this trailer. I honestly am not even confident that they're going to be in this game, but either way. Now, something I've been a big champion of is that I do think Black and White remakes could happen, being made by a third party, whether that's Ilka, Pokemon Works, or a third party that we're not even thinking of altogether. I could see Legends EA releasing in the summer, and then a BW game releasing in the later part of this year, or even the very early part of next year. Think how Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl came out in November, and then Legends Arceus came out in January. I could see something like that, because then they have a game releasing right before Pokemon Day of next year, the 30th anniversary one, which is going to be the big one. Like it's gonna dwarf this one in comparison. I could see that. And then lastly, for Gen 10, I don't think Gen 10's happening this year. In fact, I would place a lot of money on Gen 10 not happening this year, and I am by no means a gambling man. But I do think that there could be a tease to Gen 10. And what I mean by that is not a reveal of it, but just kind of a mention that it exists, you know, letting us know, hey, you know, we're aware that you saw the Switch 2 announcement. We're aware that you're seeing that Legends EA is for the Nintendo Switch, because I do believe it will be for the Nintendo Switch. Just so you know, we're currently working on the next generation of Pokemon, and it'll be releasing for the Nintendo Switch 2 next year. And that's it. No reveal of a title, no, like, trailer or anything for that. Just literally the guy sitting at his desk talking and letting you know it's happening. But I definitely don't see anything greater than that. Now, that said, I do kind of want to throw out a fun idea. I like wild card predictions, right? Like, it's boring if I only sit here and I tell you the obvious, the predictable stuff. Those are my actual predictions, but I like to throw a wild one in there and give the disclaimer that it's wild, because that way, if it happens, I get credit. But if it doesn't, I can't be blamed for it. Let me paint you a picture. So, last year we got the reveal of Legends EA, but we didn't get the starters revealed. And in fact, we wouldn't get the starters revealed for another year. One whole year not knowing anything about ZA. 1 year between trailers. What if for Gen 10, they revealed the silhouettes of the starters? They did this back in Generation 5. They gave us the silhouettes of the starters, and people were kind of having fun with it and trying to predict what's what. And there was like a platypus with an acorn on its head or something was Oshawott. Things like that. Like, it was wild. I would love if they did this again for Gen 10. They just dropped silhouettes. They were like, we're working on the next generation of Pokemon game. Please have a look at this image. And it's like silhouettes of the starters. And then it cuts away, and like that's it. And then we don't hear anything until next year. They would officially reveal the starters. I do think, look, I would rather go a year with silhouettes of the Gen 10 starters than go a year before we see anything Gen 10. But I don't know, maybe that's my wild card. I don't really think that'll happen, but it's a fun idea, so I want to say it, prediction. But yeah, let me know your predictions in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Normally, I do drop videos on Wednesdays. However, that will not be the case next week because Pokemon Day will be on the 27th, which is a Thursday. So I'll be dropping a video on the 27th, kind of recapping and giving my thoughts on whatever it is that gets revealed in that inevitable presents. And also, I will be live that day multiple times that weekend with the Hidden Power podcast, my podcast. So make sure you're checking out that as well. Links are in the description below. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. Let me know your predictions. And until next time, I will see all of you later.